So one of the things you've got to be careful about, though, as you move into the automation tool game, because keep in mind, generically speaking, it is against LinkedIn's terms of service. Ironically, LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft, and Microsoft business development team uses LinkedIn automation tools for business development. So go figure. However, this thing changes frequently, and you've got to be well connected or well versed or managing multiple profiles to hope to keep up. You have to accept the reality that we are never, ever, ever going to outsmart LinkedIn and Microsoft. We're never going to be able to outspend them. Okay. All we can do is hope to keep up and never get more than 1 or 2 steps behind them. Okay. And this algorithm changes frequently. Things that work, I felt bad because I did a recording in February, for last February for proteges, and I demoed a tool called Octopus, and it worked fine at the time. And then they changed the algorithm, and it was getting people's accounts suspended. And I moved on, and I didn't think about that recording still being there, and folks who joined months later going and deploying that tool and then getting in trouble. So you got to be very mindful. This algorithm changes frequently. All right. So you got to stay on top of it or be connected to someone like, I don't know, yours truly, who is on top of it. Okay. One of the first things I will tell you is automation tools must be cloud-based. Never, ever, ever use these Chrome extensions. They're fine for some things, but do not use them if you're sending connection requests or messages. They LinkedIn, it's very easy for them to detect, and they will shut it down. Okay. And the reason it needs to be cloud-based is so that your LinkedIn can be accessed from a local IP address at all times. We did have some issues in our beta program that we ran for the last 6 months, where folks would log in, and the client could log in, and that was fine, and my team could log in, and it was fine, because when my team logs in, it's from a local IP address. When our tool's accessing it, it's from the local IP address, and it was okay. But then as soon as a VA forgot to use the IP proxy, or as soon as the client traveled and logged in on their laptop on Wi-Fi instead of their mobile app, or as soon as their own VA logged in, their account gets restricted. Okay. So you got to be very careful. We fixed this with the new Lead Yoda automation tool, so that everything is done from the tool. It's literally, we framed around the LinkedIn, and you can access LinkedIn and Sales Nav from our tool, and it looks like the same IP address every time, everywhere you go. All right. And that's how we got around that. So be careful with that. I have one client whose VA, he had a VA in the Philippines and a sales assistant in Brazil, and they kept logging in addition to my team and our platform tool, and him logging in and his location stateside. And it seemed like, I want to say in the 4 months we tried to help this guy, his LinkedIn was suspended 6 times. It took me months to figure out why. I didn't know he had a sales assistant in Brazil logging in, or a VA logging in from the Philippines, or I would have told him not to do it. But anyways, just be careful. Okay. The other big thing, and Chrome extensions cannot do this, is an automation tool must simulate behavior. For example, my LinkedIn will send between 40 and 60 connection requests per day, but it's randomized. One day it might be 41, one day it might be 59, or any number in between. It's going to be between 40 and 60, completely randomized, because that simulates human behavior. That Chrome extension, if you tell it to send 20 connection requests, it's going to send 20 connection requests in about 90 seconds. That's not human behavior, and LinkedIn can detect that, and they'll shut it down. So that's why I don't recommend them. Okay. Let's talk about migrating out of safe mode. For those of you who've not used any sort of automation tool, you got to crawl before you walk. You got to walk before you run. You cannot go from 0 to 100. If your profile's sitting there idle and you just suddenly want to start sending max capacity, you're going to get in trouble. We're going to shut you down. So we put together this grid. It's on our website. It's on the leadyoda.co website. And this is what we recommend. The first week, you don't send more than 10 a day, right? And you can do 6 days. I encourage everyone to give the thing a day off. And I think the best day is Saturday. Ironically, the best day for sending messages is Sunday evening. So not Monday. But in any event, we run ours 6 days a week and it takes Saturday off. You send 10 connection requests the first week. You send, that's the daily limit, by the way. You send 13 a day the second week, 16. You see the gradual warm up. That's the way to use that. All right. Whether you're using our tool or any other tool, you got to do this or you're going to get in trouble. Okay. And I don't know if any of these other tools that subscribe recommended migration like that. So, all right. So I emphasized you must warm up your LinkedIn. This is a glimpse of what happens when you don't. You don't want to do this. You don't want to get in trouble. Okay. You don't want to lose your LinkedIn. And because you don't want to lose your LinkedIn, that is again why I preach 2 points: omni-channel or multi-channel for this. So you're not entirely dependent on LinkedIn, and then get your data off of that platform. That's where the real value is building your marketing list, those email addresses, those phone numbers. Okay. That's what you want to get off of the platform. And these guys that run it all and don't bother to back it up or download it, and then they get shut down, they got nothing left. All right. So don't let that happen to you. So we took a look at about 20 different LinkedIn automation tools that we've demoed over the last few months. Ours is at the top, and you can see, number one, that there's a number of various headlines across there. So it's not just that we're biased and we did all of this to make ours look better than all the others. It just actually is better. Okay. And this will be posted on the website soon as well. Okay. And there's a number of, and these things are going to range in price, by the way, anywhere from $39 a month is probably the cheapest I've seen any of them, to several hundred. I think some of them, I think the most expensive one I've seen was around $750. Most are going to be between $100 and $200. There's a few, I think Copilot's like $250 a month. There's some that are cheaper, and there's some that I wouldn't recommend to my worst enemy to use, to be candid with you. If you don't want to use ours, I can tell you that we keep accounts on Expandy and Zopto. I think those are very good tools. They just don't have the same capacity that mine has for scalability. Okay. Zopto is going to restrict you to 5,000 leads contact that you can export off of their tool into a CRM or anything else every month. We have no limits. All right. And they only recently added the cold email feature. All right. So you can connect 10 email accounts and send 5,000 cold emails. Expandy used to be 1 email and 500 emails. And I've heard that they've increased that to match Zopto's, but I don't know for sure. I haven't gotten confirmation from Expandy. I know the founder, Stefan of Expandy. I'm in a mastermind group tank with him. But one other thing I'll point out, you can see Lead Yoda, you can connect an unlimited number of email accounts and send up to 100,000 cold emails every month, in addition to all the LinkedIn outreach that we covered. Okay. So that one tool literally does it all. Okay.